Have you ever pictured Moses? Maybe you see an old man with a long white beard, staff in hand, parting the Red Sea. It's an epic image, but it's just one chapter of an incredible life. The real story of Moses is a roller coaster of identity, exile, and redemption. It's about a man caught between two worlds, a prince who became a fugitive, and a fugitive who became a leader. This isn't just a Sunday school lesson. It's a profound human drama that shaped the course of history. Today, we're going deep into the true backstory of Moses, from the luxury of a Pharaoh's palace to the harsh wilderness, and finally, to his ultimate destiny. Let's travel back to ancient Egypt, a time when the children of Israel were enslaved. The book of Exodus tells us that Pharaoh, fearing their growing numbers, gave a terrifying order. Every newborn Hebrew boy was to be thrown into the Nile River. But one woman, Jochebed, defied this decree. She hid her infant son for 3 months. When she could hide him no longer, she didn't surrender him to the river, she entrusted him to it. She placed him in a waterproof basket and set it among the reeds. Her daughter, Miriam, watched from a distance, holding her breath. What happens next is pure providence. Pharaoh's own daughter comes down to the river to bathe. She sees the basket, and her heart is moved with compassion when she finds the crying baby inside. She knows he's a Hebrew child, but she decides to save him. Miriam, seeing her chance, bravely steps forward and offers to find a Hebrew woman to nurse the baby. The woman she brings is, of course, the baby's own mother, Jochebed. So the child is saved by the very family that sentenced him to death, and he's raised by his own mother, who is now paid by the princess. The princess names him Moses, which means to draw out, because, as she said, I drew him out of the water. Moses grows up in the heart of the Egyptian empire, a prince of Egypt. Imagine the world he inhabited. He would have received the finest education, learning hieroglyphics, mathematics, and military strategy. He wore fine linen, ate from tables laden with delicacies, and walked the corridors of power. He was an Egyptian in every outward sense, yet he carried a secret identity. He knew he was a Hebrew. This dual identity must have created a deep internal conflict. He saw the splendor of Egypt and the suffering of his own people. He was living a paradox. This conflict comes to a head when Moses is a grown man. The Bible says in Exodus chapter 2, he went out to his own people and looked on their burdens. One day he sees an Egyptian brutally beating a Hebrew slave. In that moment, the prince disappears and the Hebrew takes over. In a flash of rage, Moses looks around, sees no one, and kills the Egyptian, burying him in the sand. He thought his secret was safe. The next day, he goes out again and sees 2 Hebrews fighting. He tries to intervene, to be a peacemaker. But one of them throws his secret back in his face. Who made you a prince and a judge over us? Are you going to kill me as you killed the Egyptian? The blood must have run cold in his veins. His secret was out. His act of justice, or perhaps vengeance, was known. When Pharaoh hears of it, Moses' life is in danger. The man who was once a prince, raised in the lap of luxury, is now a fugitive. He flees Egypt, trading his palace robes for the simple garments of a traveler. His escape leads him into the vast, unforgiving desert of Midian. This is a dramatic change of scenery and status, from the lush Nile Delta to the barren wilderness, from a position of immense power to a life of complete obscurity. He is a stranger in a strange land, an exile with nothing but the clothes on his back and a price on his head. In Midian, exhausted and alone, he sits by a well. This is often a place of divine appointments in the Bible. Soon, the 7 daughters of Jethro, the priest of Midian, arrive to water their father's flock. But some local shepherds drive them away. Once again, Moses' instinct to protect the vulnerable kicks in. He stands up for the women, drives off the shepherds, and even waters their flock for them. When the daughters return home early, their father Jethro is surprised. They tell him about the Egyptian who helped them. Jethro, a man of hospitality, insists they invite this stranger to share a meal. This encounter changes Moses' life again. He finds a new home, a new family. He marries one of the daughters, Zipporah, and they have a son named Gershom. Moses says, "I have been a sojourner in a foreign land. For 40 years, the prince of Egypt becomes a humble shepherd in Midian. These 40 years in the desert are crucial. They are not wasted time. In Egypt, Moses learned the ways of power and men. In the wilderness, he learns humility, patience, and dependence. He learns the rhythm of the land, the signs of the weather, and the needs of the flock. He is being stripped of his Egyptian identity and his self-reliance. God is preparing him for his true calling, but Moses doesn't know it yet. He's simply living his life, perhaps thinking this is all his future holds. A quiet life, a family, a flock. Then, one day, everything changes. Moses is tending his father-in-law's flock near Mount Horeb, the mountain of God. He sees something extraordinary, a bush on fire, but the bush is not being consumed. It's burning, but not burning up. Curiosity draws him closer. As he approaches, a voice calls out to him from the flames, "Moses! Moses!" He replies, "Here I am." The voice commands, "Do not come any closer! Take off your sandals, for the place where you are standing is holy ground." The voice then identifies itself. "I am the God of your father, the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob." At this, Moses hides his face, afraid to look at God. This is the pivotal moment. The God of his ancestors, the God of the enslaved Hebrews, is speaking to him, an 80-year-old shepherd, a fugitive with a past. God tells Moses that he has seen the misery of his people in Egypt and has heard their cries, and now he is going to rescue them. Then comes the staggering commission. "So now go! I am sending you to Pharaoh to bring my people, the Israelites, out of Egypt." Moses is floored. "Who? Me?" He immediately starts making excuses. His first objection is about his own identity. "Who am I that I should go to Pharaoh and bring the Israelites out of Egypt?" He's no longer a prince. He's a nobody, a shepherd. But God doesn't address his inadequacy. He promises his presence. "I will be with you." And Moses persists. "What if they ask your name? Who should I say sent me?" God gives him the profound and mysterious name, "I am who I am." This is what you are to say to the Israelites. "I am has sent me to you." This name speaks of God's eternal, self-existent, and active presence. Still, Moses hesitates. What if they don't believe me? God gives him 3 signs. His staff will turn into a snake, his hand will become leprous and then be healed, and water from the Nile will turn to blood. These are signs of divine power, proof that he isn't acting alone. But Moses has one last excuse, and it's a personal one. "O Lord, I have never been eloquent, neither in the past nor since you have spoken to your servant. I am slow of speech and of tongue." He's saying, "I'm not a good public speaker." He might have had a stutter or simply lacked confidence after 40 years in the quiet desert. God's response is powerful. "Who gave human beings their mouths? Is it not I, the Lord? Now go. I will help you speak and will teach you what to say." Even after all this, Moses begs, "Please send someone else." God's anger is kindled, but his grace remains. He appoints Moses' own brother Aaron to be his spokesman. Aaron was known to be a good speaker, so the team is set. Moses will receive the message from God, and Aaron will deliver it to the people and to Pharaoh. The excuses have run out. The shepherd must now embrace his destiny. Moses returns to his family, packs his belongings, and with his wife and sons, begins the long journey back to the land he fled 40 years earlier. He is no longer Moses the prince, nor Moses the fugitive shepherd. He is Moses, the chosen messenger of the great I Am. He carries with him a simple wooden staff, but in his hand it has become the staff of God. He is returning to confront the most powerful man on earth, armed not with an army or with political influence, but with a promise. "I will be with you." This is where the story you know, the plagues, the Exodus, the parting of the Red Sea, truly begins. But it's built on this incredible foundation. A man saved from death as a baby, raised as a prince, humbled as a fugitive, and called as a prophet. His life is a testament to the idea that our past, with all its privilege and its pain, can be the very training ground for our purpose. Moses' story shows us that God often chooses the unlikely, the exiled, and the hesitant to accomplish his greatest works. It wasn't about Moses' ability, but his availability and God's powerful presence. The journey of Moses is a profound narrative of identity, failure, and divine calling. It reminds us that no part of our story is wasted. The palaces and the deserts of our lives all serve to shape us. Thank you so much for joining me on this deep dive into the real story of Moses. If you found this journey as fascinating as I do and want to explore more stories like this, please hit that subscribe button. We've got so much more to uncover together. See you in the next video.